to jail, not have any money, any funds to be able to get out of jail. And I was like, because I felt it. I was like, people aren't going to yield the streets. That's how I felt. So I was like, we need something. So we had to throw something together. And when I say we, I got together with a few friends and people I've worked with, in the movement, and their names are Osiris Bali and Ryan Davis. So I really talked to them because, Ryan knows about a lot, and he's actually our acting treasurer. And Osiris Bali has also been in this community for numerous years. So I hit him up, and he's also an organizer with the Little Rock Freedom Fund.
Okay. And so with the Little Rock Freedom Fund, I think what you're doing is really important, because oftentimes when we think about activism, it's not so much about the direct services, like you said, creating that bridge between getting people exactly what they need and then also letting them know about what we can do in the future. So with that, do you have a vision of where you would eventually like the Little Rock Freedom Fund to go or become?
It's crazy because I got asked this question on a grant I'm going to apply for. It's kind of like, what is my vision? I want it to be fully functioning, Black-led, able to employ Black people. That's it. Fully functional, which means I'm able to go beyond people just volunteering. Like, I'm able to pay them for doing the work. Because that a lot of times it's hard finding those jobs that are focused on organizing and activism, and then true Black-led organizations. I've really struggled with that. Like, not only Black-led, but Black started. Like, that's it. That's it. Just something for us. We do help people of all races. Anyone down there, that's not what I'm saying.
Right.
But I just want something just for us, that people know they can count on us. They can hold us accountable. We can hold each other accountable.
Yeah, and that accountability piece is huge. Representation matters is something that we hear a lot. And so having it started, like you said, Black-led, Black-owned, Black-funded, Black folks, Black.
Boo-boo.
Yes,
Boo-boo.
exactly.
Old school.
It's important, especially in a state like this. Like, I don't know if have you run into any tension or barriers with having that mentality with your organization?
I think a lot of times, if you want to get the funding and if you want to do that, you have to make almost be all inclusive. Like, it's not people out there funding Black liberation. Not a lot of people. I will say there are some efforts, especially since, sorry, you're gonna hear my dog.
It's okay.
Especially since this summer of almost the white guilt. You know what I'm saying? Man, I can't believe, and they can believe, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's been going on, but everybody was stuck in their house, and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing this to these people. What can we do to help them? And so, because people weren't having it. Remember, people weren't having it. They was cutting companies off. They was like, oh, you ain't gonna say Black Lives Matter. Oh, we not gonna mess with you. We finna boycott. So people was like, they got their signs like, Black Lives Matter here. Black Lives Matter. The businesses that could afford it gave money. They're giving money. So yes, take your money. Take your money, because it's only so long they gonna feel this way. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, most of them, it's only so long they gonna feel this way. Then it's on to the next. Even though this has been a constant struggle, it's on to the next.
Right. It's that wave. It's always that wave of the Black trauma gets at the height, and then white people are like, oh my gosh, we haven't. Well, I didn't know. And then back down to the apathy. So I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah, the way.
It's tough. It's tough, but I appreciate the work that you're trying to do and make it something that's consistent, because I think consistency is the thing. People, once you really start working with people and they're relying on you, showing up for them is huge. So with all that work that you're doing, I just wonder, how do you take care of Dawn? What do you do for yourself?
This past few years, actually, I'm not gonna lie, it's hard when you're doing this, because it always seems like there's an injustice going on, for real. So I just recently, like, within the past few years, had to listen to people say, you need to slow down. You are going to burn out. Like, people were seeing it, like, on my face, like, you are about to burn out. But it was just so much going, and that's what I'm saying. It's like people don't understand how much trauma comes along with it. And Osiris always say, people are not going to pay you for the emotional labor that you go through doing this work. So yes, it is important. I try to, when the weather was good, right now it's not, I try to go on outdoor adventures. Hang out. I like to read. I like to game. Games are just mindless. Like, to me, when I play games, I'm like, okay, it's just mindless. I'm just somewhere, in my own zone. It's like it works out. I'm telling you. But and yeah, kick it with my family. I'm not really do as much as I should, I guess, visit as much as I should. I'm that one, but I love y'all to death, and when y'all need me, I'm gonna be there. That's the kind. But I love my family. So I try to kick it with them too. We do have a good time. So
That's real. The emotional labor is something that people do not pay attention to or do not really value when it comes to terms of payment, or even just the sacrifice that comes with that. So I'm glad that you have folks who will tell you the truth, because activism work, sometimes your head you're right here and all you can see is the problem.
It's true. So I've been learning and taking it slow, even though there's so much going on. When you slow down, I feel like you become more effective. You know what I'm saying? So that takes time. It's just a process. Life is a process,
That it is. That it is. Don't tell me you're a poet too. Let me find out.
No, I used to write more in high school. I don't know when I drifted off. I say in college I kind of tapered off, and I didn't really write. That's a good thing though. I did like writing when I was writing. So I don't know. People say do that too. They're like, write a journal.
Yes.
I'm like, okay. Yeah. Got to do something.
Something to release. I'm a huge journaler.
Yeah, I could tell, hence the project, because I'm like, oh, somebody wants to write about me. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. I'll
contribute. I mean, I think it's interesting about how you say you've always wanted to do this type of work and you've always been this type of person. Even when you talk about like your transition in middle school to high school and being a CNA, and folks have to go and get money because we live in a capitalistic society. We have to pay our bills. You can't always do something that you love, but I guess sometimes I think people don't understand how you can transition. So like, was it hard for you to, because you say you still have your CNA license, but are you still practicing? Like, was it hard for you to switch from that to what you do now?
I don't think it was ever really a switch. Like I said, it was kind of like, this was work I'm doing. And whether it was like humanitarian work, that focuses on helping people. And I feel like activism and humanitarian work are like one and the same. because you're helping people, and then one is more so giving them a voice. Right. So that's been more of it, where I'm just love people. I always used to get in trouble, be like, my parents used to be like, just mind your business, just worry about yourself. I'm that friend, I'll speak up for you. If you ain't gonna say nothing, I'll be like, I'm about to say something. My family knows. They're like, oh, well, we tell her, just be ready, because if you're not gonna say it, I am. I'm gonna say it for you. That's how I've been. I think those little traits build who you are. Say, if it wasn't law school, it was gonna be activism. I didn't know it then. You know what I'm saying? But now, it all makes sense.
Yeah.
In some ways.
Yeah. It's like we're given those gifts as kids that we kind of just dismiss, but they're actually something that'll help us be a human and an adult and find our way.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. That's great. So what are some of the things that outside of the Freedom Fund, what else are you doing in the world of activism?
Well, I'm working, I just run a social platform, Nayborhood Activist. And so in that, it's more created a platform for people to put forth information about what's going on locally in their community, ways to get involved locally, because I realized that's what I had to do. I realized I can't change everything. I learned that lesson actually from Bree Newsom. I'm kind of blending these answers in. You see what I'm saying? So I learned the lesson from Bree Newsom. I asked her, like what she did, and she was and Bree Newsom, for people that don't know, is the people that climbed the flagpole and pulled down the Confederate flag. But she just told me, start where you are. And literally I took that at heart. It's something, like so small, but something so impactful. Like, you can't change everything, but if you change enough people where you are, things can happen. Thanks. So I run that, and it's just a way for people, like just your neighborhood. When you think about your neighborhood, sometimes that's the hood, but when you think about them, you like, how can I get them to get involved? Like, how can I break this down on a level that everybody can understand? How can I get people to reaching out to the people that they need to reach out to, even if it's just providing numbers? To me, that's being an activist, because you providing information, and that's really advocacy. You helping somebody with information that they didn't have that could help them. So, right. Yeah. So that's mostly what I'm doing. That's it.
That's it. Just those two things that are really big and powerful. Okay.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And I do want to plug in, I was doing work with Seeds of Liberation, and we have a program called AR-18 Release, and another man, Mr. Dwayne Withers, and I call him Mr. Al Jalil. He did have a name change while he was in there, but he got released after 30 years in prison for a non-violent drug conviction. So you think about that. He got to embrace his son, and he hit me up, and see, those are rewarding moments, when you're like, okay, we haven't beat the whole system, but this man who ain't seen his son since he was a toddler is getting to hug. You know what I'm saying? His mama that thought she wasn't gonna be able to see her son again is hugging her son. So I learned, and this took some work too, learning how to celebrate the small things, like celebrate the wins. Be like, I did put on some work on this, like it was the Most High, but I did help. I was a faithful servant.
Yes, you were.
I was a faithful servant, and we worked together to get it done.
Yes. You had your hand all up in that pot.
I hope. Thank God. I started where I was at. I did what I could. That's what I say. I did what, and if everyone was like that, It doesn't even have to be like a day in and day out thing, but if everyone just did what they could, the world would be a better place.
Oh, I love this so much.
I'm telling you.
It would.
But whoo, yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right. If people just did even one kind thing to help their neighbor, or was informed about something and spread the word, it really would be a better place.
We really would. We really would. Like a little pageant answer.
Would you like to do your wave?
I don't know if I'm doing it right, but yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
Almost. Kind of look like the pancake. I didn't know. Oh, okay.
Well, I guess so just like a few more questions. What does neighborhood even mean to you? As I know you guys are the neighborhood activists. What does that mean?
Yeah, so it's spelled Nay. And that actually came from Nipsey Hussle. It actually happened, like in 2019, we got it together. And I spelled it specifically like that because Nipsey Hussle, to me, I don't remember him for his rapping career. He did have some good songs, you know what I'm saying? But the top 10 rappers, I probably wouldn't put him in, you know what I'm saying? But he did the work in his community. He was just this person from the hood, and he was like, man, I care. And I want to build this community up, help provide jobs, on Slauson. He did that. He gave back. He spent time. And, his family seemed to me to be on a whole nother path. I listened to his mom speak at his funeral, and it's just like, even though people were mourning, and I'm sure she was still mourning, but knowing that it's a part of a life cycle and that he will still live on to her, that just meant something to me. And his memory does. It's like the way people saw him helping people, just the song, even dedication, it's just like, that just puts a fire under me. I love that song. It's just keep going for it. And if they don't give you, take it. Take what you want. Right. Don't wait for them to keep giving you stuff. So yeah, neighborhood. And that's why I'm in John Barrow. So I say, yeah, people call it the hood, but we out here trying to get active, trying to get them to join the neighborhood association and stuff like that. I'm like, they like, man, I got a felony. I can't. I say, hold up, man, this is the neighborhood association. Don't try that same, because they'll try that one real quick. I'm doing this. Hey, man, just sign up, pay your $10. Yeah. And then you're done. You can have a voice, but right. For real, because so much decisions and people don't know. Yes. I sat in at a neighborhood association meeting, and they got a lot to say of what, if they don't like a developer, if they don't want that developer to come in, their opinion weighs strongly with the city board. And I didn't know that until I started sitting in them. I was like, so it's a start here, and they get all the information, like representatives come talk to neighborhood associations, because it's all about building a coalition. Right. They'll come talk to 10 people or more, I'll say 20 people or more, but if it's just you and 2 other people, they like, what can they change? They really make mistakes doing that, but that's how they're thinking, honestly. Like, what can they change? I'm gonna go over here to these 50 constituents and go talk to them about X, Y, Z. Right.
Yeah. No, you're right. The neighborhood association holds a lot of weight and power, and people don't think all the time about local neighborhood power in that sense. It's more of a national or city level. But I'm glad to hear you in the neighborhood association. That was my next question. Like, in the association.
I've chimed in a few meetings, but it's all 50 plus in that thing.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, you run. It's all 50 plus.
Yeah. So yeah. So So what is like, as a younger adult, how do you find motivation to go to things where it's mostly folks from the older generation, especially in the like city boards, like do you even understand what's going on? There's so much jargon.
Don't go to some places we don't usually go to. Like, that's the thing. I really struggle with trying to get Black people my age or younger to get, I'll even say 40 and under. Like, you have a hard time getting people to be like, well, unless they're running.
Right.
You know, unless they're running for a position, then they're like, okay, well, I'll listen. But like, you have a hard time getting people involved. And I'll just say, it's like, I wanted to know what was going on. Like, that's simple. Like aside from activism, I really just wanted to know what was going on. I'm like, well, where are these decisions being made, and who? And I'm still bumping my head along the way, just figuring out who's doing what. But now I have more of a sense, like I do it to inform others, because a lot of times people don't want to sit down and read the website. It'll tell you when they have the meetings, it'll tell you what the meeting's about, but a lot of people don't want to do that. So what I do, I'll go to the meeting, I'll record it live. They even have a live broadcast of City Hall. People still won't click for that. But you know, if it's on somebody's page that they know, they like, oh, let me see what's going on.
Yep.
And I be trying to tell people, come on out. I said, it is good sometimes, because the last few meetings have been like a little, I'll say, spicy.
Was this with the Stand Your Ground one, or the?
Well, it was a couple things. It was the Targeted Community Initiative. This was at City Hall. Well, it's at the Robinson right now, but it was a targeted community initiative that would get areas like Ward 6 and Ward 2, you know, like areas like John Barrow, I guess more funding. And I tell my ward director, which is Doris Wright, and I really am on it about this, that we want improvements. People don't want to be gentrified, because I had someone telling me this story. Like, it's this man, he had a house and they jacked the pavements up in his area over in John Barrow, and now he's staying at a place called the Cottages, which is like a little, probably 1-bedroom like apartment this man used to have in his own house. So you can't have houses on one side that you charge $600 for, and then on the next side you build some nice duplex, which everyone should have the right to affordable and livable. And I'll go beyond livable, because some people say a box is livable. You know what I'm saying? So people like to live in nice things, and everybody can't afford it. So you shouldn't charge $1,000 over here on the other side. And they like, oh dang, who moving in? White people.
Right.
You gentrifying the neighborhood.
Right. But under the guise, you're making it better, because we're bringing in housing.
We're improving. And I was like, you need to bring in Black developers, give the job to, and a lot of times I learned about that, even with activism, like about construction workers and contracting. A lot of times these Black companies can't afford to put down the bid and hope they get it. And like, it's real all the way around.
All the way through.
It's real. So,
No, I feel you there. So I live in the Dunbar area, and they're just starting to put up like different signage, like historic neighborhood. And even with that, my red flag goes up. It's like, okay, what's about to happen? Y'all only start investing and putting up this type of stuff when somebody either put up some money or somebody says they want to move in, because we've been here and we never had a historic sign as long as I've been here. So what was about to happen?
The Heifer area too. My homie took me around there by the Heifer area, and it's like behind where the animals are kept. And if you keep going, they built these new apartments, and it's like a whole water deck out there. And I'm like, who can? And this is in the hood,
right? Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I'm like, who lived here before? What was going on? Like, it sent red flags off in my mind. I'm like, dang, this is nice.
Right.
And he was like, shoot, you can come out here you pay taxes. He was like, walk out on this deck. So
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I do pay taxes. You know what I'm saying? But it's like nice. And at a certain time, you know, this is when they were first starting building it, but at a certain time, we not going to be even allowed to come out there if we don't have a membership to their little boating club.
Because
So
there'll be a fence.
I don't have a boat.
Right.
I don't have a boat. Do you have a boat?
I don't have a boat. That'd be nice.
Yeah. So
no, you're exactly right. And it's the fact that this is something I've been learning a lot about when it comes to power. Like that person said, you do pay taxes. We don't have to ask anybody to walk on land that's not privately owned. Like we are the people who are funding our government. So we have every right to
be where we are. Anywhere we want to go.
Exactly. Yeah.
But you gotta you gotta be quiet with it because them laws test.
They are.
The odds are still not in our favor.
I know, right? Especially down here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're coming up on time, but I just want to say thank you. I do want to ask one last question because I am astro curious. What is your sun sign? Are you into astrology?
Okay, well, my sister more so than I, but I have been learning. So I'm a Scorpio, Taurus rising. So,
nice.
So yeah, I got that little information. And so that's from my birth chart. But I have started to pay not so much more attention to signs as of the subconscious. And now I say, you know, free the mind, free the body. It's like we are, like when they talk about superpowers, it's like we can manifest a whole lot. You'll be like, you'll keep on saying something and saying something. You'll be like, dang, it happened. And you'll just be thinking like, but it's manifestation. It's the power of the words. I've been paying more attention to the mind, and because I have control and you have control, you know. So I really started looking into that because, like I said, this work it will take you over. And I see so many people, you know, before you hear the stories of even Nina Simone, of how like they just, sometimes it's just too much and you just break down, might go off on your own little sequester, and people really don't know. They're like, where did she go?
Right.
Like, but it's a lot. So you have to say, you have the power. I'm in control of this. I fight for this out of love, not out of hate. So that's what I try to do.
Those affirmations, they're really important. And I'm a firm believer in that too, of creating. I mean, we're humans. We create constantly everything that is here that was not already here. The laws, the government, the society, we've created it all. And so we can uncreate and we can recreate. And so I'm an artist. I'm a Sag sun and an Aries rising. I have a lot of fire.
A lot of spiciness.
Yes, I have a lot of fire in my chart. Well, I keep saying this, but the last thing, if people want to get involved with you or the work that you're doing, how do they find you? And what do they need to do?
Okay, little plug in. Okay, so Little Rock Freedom Fund, that's on Facebook. You can contact us, you know, send us a short message on there. More specifics are on www.lrfreedomfund.com, and on there you can learn more about what we're about, who we're helping, how we've helped people this far, how you can help contribute. And that's either donations, because donations are always appreciated. Every dollar helps in the long run. And then I would also say time donations or skill set donations. You don't have the money, but you have a skill, or you have a skill and money, but you're willing to contribute your services at a pro bono rate. We're really looking to work with Black lawyers, Black people who have been in the medical field or are in the medical field. Really looking for you. Like I said, I'm trying to be completely ran through and through, for the people, by the people.
Word.
So that's the plug.
Hey.
Well, the Neighborhood Activist, if y'all want to be on there, if y'all want to post your information about upcoming events or things you hear about, bad bills, like post them in Neighborhood Activist so we can get them out to the people.
Yes, to the people. All right, well, thank you. I'm gonna stop the recording.
Okay.